Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our August membership webinar. Tonight we are going to talk about advocacy and the JCs and becoming more relevant in your communities and with your elected leaders. I am Noelle Knockreiner. I am the 2017 Membership Director for the national organization, and I am from Indiana. I'm joined tonight by Justin Wetsky. He is our 2017 Nothing But Nets Coordinator, and he is from the Billing JCs in Montana. Hello, Justin.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course.
So I'm actually going to turn it over to Justin with this webinar, and we're going to let him take it away.
All right, everybody. I really appreciate everyone attending this webinar and just sharing how important advocacy is when it comes to just being an active citizen in our country, as well as being an active citizen within your chapter, like an active member. Advocacy is important because the U.S. government plays a critical leadership role. We have to let our elected officials in Congress know what we support. With strong U.S. leadership, we can work towards our goals. JCs believe in order to create sustainable positive change, we must improve ourselves and the world around us. What better way to improve ourselves than to take on leadership roles and advocate for the things that are important to us, to our elected officials in the real government. So 3 areas of how advocacy is important to you as a JC. Number 1 is it introduces and promotes JCI USA, your chapters, and yourself to the members of Congress. Quite often I found I've gone to a chapter or community and taken members with me to elected officials, and they aren't aware of who the JCs are and the real impact that are made. We're all out doing great work and putting on fundraisers, and then we do amazing stuff with those funds, but we're not advocating for ourselves to our local officials to know that we're around and we exist and we can take on even bigger issues and problems to solve and make sustainable solutions in our communities. Number 2, it shares the amazing work JCs are doing, like I just said. And then number 3 is it connects us so we can work together with our local government in the future. Like I said, now they know who you are, they're going to want to work with you, they're going to want to bring other problems to the table and see that you guys, that us as JCs are the people that are going to solve the problems and make them problems no longer. So the result overall is that your local chapter, your JCI chapter or JC's chapter, is now viewed as an organization with young active citizens who care about real issues troubling our communities, a legitimate organization that the government wants to filter in more citizens into and bring us more members in order to build future leaders for the community, and then the first people to call upon when the government needs a serious solution for tomorrow's challenges. Even though it seems like our government has crazy challenges that we can't solve, it's completely untrue. There's no reason why the JCs couldn't be coming up with a new healthcare system or solving social security issues or any other issues that our country is facing. The JCs could come to the table to our government officials and bring proposals to make our country better. So in order to help our members learn advocacy, we've teamed up with Nothing But Nets under the United Nations, and this gives us a platform to be able to be taken seriously when we contact our members of Congress at our state level or at the national level, but as our state representatives, in order to be taken seriously and be able to set up meetings and go in them and talk to them about a serious issue that's a global issue and shows that we're part of a global community, yet then opens the door in the conversation for us as members to be able to talk about what we're doing locally and how we mean business, and we are empowered and we're leaders and we can really make a difference. So that's how to engage members of Congress. There's multiple ways. Obviously, we can call throughout the year. We try to do 2 call-in days, and I recommend calling weekly if you wanted to get your opinion and your support across for issues that you care about. but calling is an effective and quick way to ensure that your member of Congress or their staffers learn what issues matter to you. Their staffers there to take the phone calls, and you can reach members of Congress by calling the U.S. Capitol Switchboard at 202-224-3121. And actually a fun feature recently on Facebook, if you post something about members of Congress, it actually gives you members of Congress in your local area so that you can just push a button and call them right there. So that's pretty amazing. You can also start advocacy.
It's so easy.
It's very easy. So you can also start an advocacy petition or make an advocacy card. This is a little more detailed, and if you go to our website, into our library and Nothing But Net's toolkit, there's templates on there to show what this kind of information is, and be able to take those templates and use it for yourself. But essentially, advocacy cards and petitions are a great way to send a message to your member of Congress about how important an issue is, because you're getting your local community members and your local members to sign documents saying that they support cause, and then you're going to deliver all those individual cards and pieces and petitions to your member of Congress. But you just want to make sure that it's filled out completely and sent and delivered to the member of Congress. You can also write a personal letter to your member of Congress, specify that you're a constituent and your address and where you live, so it matters to them, and tell them why you feel that they should show continued U.S. leadership and support for your issue, and then ask them to join a caucus on your issue, ask them to attend a JC's event or a meeting, ask to attend, if you're putting on an event that has to do with what you're advocating about, ask them to come to that or to speak on that, those types of things. Then the last two here, you can schedule a meeting, which is the big thing that we're trying to do in the U.S. is we're trying to engage at least 75 meetings in person. And you might not necessarily meet with your local member of Congress, but you'll meet with their staffer and get your point across. But that's even more important to show that you were willing to take the time and set up a meeting and come to their offices and share your story and why this issue is so important to them, so they're going to take it even more seriously when they go to the table in D.C. to come up with how we're going to vote and change how our country views the world in the future. So like I said, it's easier than you think. House.gov and Senate.gov can get you contact information for your 2 U.S. senators and U.S. House representatives. Simply send an email or call your representative's office and request a meeting in their district office. And then while you're there, in any of these ways, when you contact them, invite them to an event. It's easy and important. They want to know what is going on in their district, so email or call their offices with details of your event. If they can't attend, ask if they can send a staffer or a representative. This interaction will build a relationship with the office and get your message back to the member of Congress. And you can visit House.gov and Senate.gov to get contact information for those people. But it's so important, and it's such a great PR opportunity to have a member of Congress come to your event. And yeah, they might be coming because they're going to talk about how the JCs advocate for Nothing But Net, but then they're also going to be blown away at all these young active citizens that come to the table every month or at every event and do these amazing things in your community, and I guarantee you're going to blow them away.
And I just wanted to add one thing in here about this as well. Justin talked about the fact that when you schedule a meeting, you might meet with their staffers. Well, their staffers are young people, and their staffers are people who care about what's going on in the community, and so it's also a very target-rich environment to help recruit. And if they send staffers to your events on their behalf, that is also a great win, because then staffers are directly seeing the great work that our organization is doing that they could be engaged with.
Of course. So, specifically when calling your member of Congress, it's the most quick and effective way to get your point across and how you want to advocate for an issue in your country as a young active citizen. But when you call them, you want to tell them why you're calling, so to vocalize your support and passion for your issue, to ask for the support, show that you're a constituent, and that you care about this issue. when it comes time for that member of Congress to go vote on it. When you call as a constituent, you say, like, as a constituent, I'm Justin Wesky, and as a constituent, I would like to support the fight against malaria. And then help your member of Congress understand why you're passionate about the issue. Well, I'm passionate about malaria because I'm a big traveler and I love to travel around the world. And it's a chance that if I'm traveling through Africa or South America where there's malaria prevalent, I could possibly contract that and bring it back to America, and that's an issue. And so when we know that we could end a disease just by keeping supporting it, because the plan is to have it ended by 2030, there's no reason why we shouldn't stop supporting it, because if we could end it, why wouldn't we just end it? And then ask if they're a member of a caucus of issue, and thank them if they are, and if not, urge them to join that caucus. And in DC, they have caucuses regarding fighting malaria and the United Nations, supporting the United Nations and whatnot. Do your research so you have key talking points on the issue to share as well. And like I said, we have a downloadable template on the library page of our website, and you're able to, all the talking points are on that. When writing your member of Congress, very similar to calling, you're explaining why you're writing, who you are, you're a constituent of that member of Congress, why it's important to you. Then you're going to make the ask, which is just continued support of the issue. Perhaps sometimes when you do your research too, because sometimes there's specific votes coming up. Like back in April and May, they were going to choose the budget for 2017, and what was really awesome is that we put on 50 meetings at the summit, and through that, the members of Congress are so overwhelmed by how many advocates came out for malaria that they increased the budget line item for fighting malaria this last year, and that's pretty amazing to see our direct impact. So you're going to make that ask. You're going to state who you are again, and personalize that message of why it's important to you. Like I said, mine's because I see that as a traveler, a global traveler, that malaria could be an issue to me, and it's not just something that only affects people outside of the country. And then just close by restating that ask of support. And then the best letters are personalized, courteous, to the point, and include specific supporting examples. More things on what you could say. Just trending issues resonate most. Like a few years ago, we had the Ebola breakout and Zika. These are all like examples of how malaria could be just like that, and malaria is a disease that we can end, so let's just fight it till the end. It's soon, we can do this. Explain why you're writing, again, that you're a constituent, you're part of the JCs. JCs are young active citizens, you care about this issue, let's keep supporting it. And then share your story. Mine's the traveling story. I know that I have a friend in Wyoming, she has a daughter, and her daughter cares about all people around the world and wants everyone to love each other. And so it's important to her to be a role model to her daughter and fight causes that are global impact versus things that are just in her community. And we're all part of the global community, and malaria could affect all of our local communities if we weren't careful. Make the ask. It's vital that you tell them what action you need them to take. Continued support, joining a caucus, keeping up with the most current issue ask, and upcoming voter resolution. And sometimes with our, if the ask could also just be like saying, we'd really like you to come attend our event, or come attend this JC's function, come to our year-end convention, whatever it is that you want to ask them. Regarding media outreach, you want to use local media to share your passion on an issue, and this involves if you're putting on malaria fundraising events to sell nets. So the media outreach, letter to the editor, and the letter to the editor can also just be that your JC's group really does support the fight against malaria, and so you're going to write a letter to the editor to your local newspaper and media groups. Or or an op-ed for greater context and encouragement. And the op-ed template is also in our downloadable. So tips for effective letter writing: just be brief and stick to one key message. Try not to stray and talk about everything you do. Like, just get to the point. You're JCs, you're young active citizens, you're a big part of the community, and this is what you're fighting for. If responding to a recent news article, previous letter, editorial, or news event, refer to that. Maybe, just like I said, maybe there was the Ebola breakout and you're a southern state that was affected by that. Refer to that. Follow with a background sentence or two, which is about you guys, obviously, as JCs, and then use a fact or figure to back up your position if possible. Respect positions of the issue's opponents. Include your name, address, email, and phone number. And then newspapers and magazines have specific submission policies, so ensure that you read up on those to make sure that it's submitted correctly. And like I said, any of this for advocacy, take out the words nothing but nets and put in your cause, whether that's UNICEF and human trafficking, healthcare, whatever is affecting you and you don't feel like it's your idea as a citizen of how you want the country to be, contact your member of Congress and share this kind of information with the public and with them.
I think it's also important to point out that you can also take out the words member of Congress and put local government officials in as well, your mayor, your city council, what have you. It's absolutely imperative that as young active citizens in your community that you're reaching out to those to advocate for what you believe in, because you elected them to serve you on the local level as well.
Right, and actually even MVP Rhea just went to Hawaii and they actually met with a bunch of state senators, because there's even a level of senators that aren't national level, they're just around the state, and those are amazing people to reach out to because they have connections and can help your chapter be relevant. Absolutely. So for press releases, once you have an event, you want to let people know about it. Local reporters are interested in issues important to their communities, and so if you're fighting for an issue and putting on a fundraiser for it, and press release is good for any event you're putting on, regardless if it's a hot topic issue or whatnot. Like your JCs, you're trying to get people interested in what you're doing, so you want to put a press release out about it. You want to check your local paper, radio, or TV network websites and see which reporters may be the best contacts for your release or who compiles the community events calendar. If you're doing something on malaria, you probably, and it's just like selling nets, you're probably not going to talk to the sports guy, but if you're putting on a basketball tournament for the community, you might want to try to send it to the sports guy in addition to the other basic anchors at the TV station. Same thing with the different news people at your newspaper. It's just good to kind of build a rapport with all the media in your community, so that when your chapter has any sort of event or activity or a membership drive, you're able to talk to them about it and get the news out about it. So in your press release, you want to just highlight the who, what, when, where, and why. Keep the event basics clear and upfront. Include your event hosts and attendees, your topic purpose, why it's important. It's kind of like a PMG, like what's your main goal? And don't like give 500 goals, you give one goal. Location and RSVP information, date and time. Newspapers, magazines have specific submission policies. Just like before, you want to just make sure that you submit it right. Also with press releases, I've known that some media people, if they are going through so many emails and having to go cover so many stories that even the act of having to open attachment and read a Word doc of a press release is too much. So sometimes it's easier to just copy and paste that press release you typed up in a Word doc and just put it directly and paste it right directly into your email so they can just read it right then and there, and make sure that your call to action and your headline is really attention grabbing and your subject in your email so that they immediately grab onto it and have some interest. More tips just on media outreach. Issue a press release at least 1 to 2 weeks before your event. Send out your press release to select reporters covering an issue or local journalists that may be interested. And like I said, this is, making sure that your chapter has a consistent person over the years, and it could change over, but make sure they're mentoring people who are stepping up and want to learn this skill set to continue giving your chapter great coverage. You're going to provide contact information for reporters to follow up for more information. So like, if it's my event, I'm going to put contact Justin Winsky. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. And this is who's going to be the main point of contact for this event. That way the reporters have that one person to go to if they have more questions to make sure they put on a good newscast or article. Follow up with reporters at the event as the event approaches by phone. You know, maybe email them again, then try to give them a call. You just want to make sure that they're like, yeah, we got the story. We want to cover it. And I'm actually always shocked. Like, usually I do get a call when I send out a press release, and they're like, yeah, we want to come check it out. And you never know what's going to happen. So then you want to monitor media interest. Like throughout your year, as your chapter's putting on events and putting out press releases, monitor the responses and put a spreadsheet together, and know if you have a list of 8 different people in their emails that you send stuff to, you can kind of put like who's responsive, what kind of stories are they interested in. It's going to give you so much great information of how you can kind of promote your events in the future. And then make note of any interview requests so that you can follow up on those. And then know that people who interview will probably want to interview again and again as you keep putting on more impact projects. Again, designate one contact for the media to reach out to on the day of the event. So one point of contact, don't give them multiple, just one. And then after the event, find and track any print or online articles published by reporters that attended the event so that you can just show your members that it worked and that press releases do stuff and bring people to your events. And it's just really cool to showcase and hang it up in your chapter space. Social media as a personal thing that you can do. Most chapters have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So Twitter is a lot shorter of a way to promote information, and just really make sure that you're on the pulse of the size of your community and if they use Twitter in the area and the region with a lot of businesses and organizations. So you're just sharing relevant facts and stats regarding your issue. So just kind of, you know, when it comes to nothing but nets, being able to find out, you know, that a child dies every 60 seconds of malaria versus 3 years ago it was every 30 seconds. And so there's just proof that we're really doing amazing work by promoting the support of the fight against this disease. Use hashtag to track the issue. Check for the most current hashtag at the time. Right now, JCs are using JCI USA Engage 500 because we're just trying to engage 500 members and 500 times of engaging members of Congress. After meeting with government officials, tweet the photo of your meeting and then use the @ symbol to tag your senator. Usually, if you put the @ sign and start typing their last name, it's going to come up and you can tag them. You can host an event. When you're hosting an event, tweet before, during, and after the event. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. It's been proven that we're a society that likes photos over reading, so always, if you can post a great photo, post that. Letter writing campaigns and call days are also an event. Share what you're doing to push those messages. Twitter is just a great way to say, today's our letter writing campaign, or today's a call day. And you're able to get other passionate people in your community to retweet and favorite your tweets on that issue. On Facebook, again, use video and photos, tagging and involving your community to share and comment on your post. Post before, during, and after the event. You can use Hootsuite to schedule and blast posts out to multiple sites at once. So even for Facebook or all the other social media platforms, you can use Hootsuite and just put in one post and it'll post it all across the board. Use Facebook events to share the events to everyone that you know. My only caveat on Facebook is just know that not everyone's on Facebook, so don't just use Facebook, and definitely make sure you're still putting out press releases to capture as many people as you can to learn about your events and the things that you care about as JCs. And then just be responsible in posting, reminding yourself this is not your soapbox, but more your platform for sharing your passion on an issue and to rally to get people involved. It's to inspire and motivate, not to make people freaking aware that you care, like that you're insanely passionate about this issue. Don't make them scared of you. Just get your point across in a professional manner, and the rest is pretty good to go. So essentially, this slide is old, but let's act. We want to engage our fellow members in Buzz Tour 5.0, which is this year in 2017. We want to engage members on all levels. We want state presidents organizing mini tours within the states, doing events throughout the year. We want to invite members of Congress to our events and meetings and activities and anything that has to do with Nothing But Nets. We've been really working hard to invite members of Congress to different large events that we have around the country this year. And I believe we've done about 3 out of 5 of our goal, which is amazing. And then there's members can do the call and letter writing campaigns and the nationally driven fundraising campaigns and matching donors. Just especially during World Malaria Day and Mosquito Day, those are times where they'll let if you buy 1 net, it actually counts as 2, and or there's some company or corporation gonna match your whatever you donate. So there's just really cool opportunities to make a bigger impact throughout the year. So I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. For our goals in 2017, again, we're wanting to have 75 meetings, and we're actually at about 62 meetings, so we're so close, and we still have 5 months in the year, which is, 4 months and in a week. So I think we're going to hit this, and we have 5 state or chapter events with an invited member of Congress in attendance to speak on and support Nothing But Nets and the JCs. We're at about 3 out of 5 of that. We have the 2 call days, which have happened, and I thank everyone who was involved and helped with that. They wanted 15 champions of the JCs who would work with us to support the Nothing But Nets advocacy initiatives, which I believe we were able to hit with the summit, which I'll talk about here in a second. And then we're creating a video showcasing the JC's impact on Nothing But Nets. And then they wanted 30 JCs in attendance to the summit that they had in April. We actually had almost 40, and they had to actually, that was their cutoff. Like, they couldn't accept anymore just because of the accommodations and the space that they had for the event. And then we always every year have a push for about $50,000 in fundraising. And then we just wanted to look for 3 major projects that promote the purchase of bed nets to save lives. And that's out of our 400 or so chapters. We're just looking for 3 projects to happen that makes a big impact on that. All of these dates they've happened. The big one, though, is on November 28th is Giving Tuesday, and that will be another big day. That's after Cyber Monday, after Black Friday. Giving Tuesday is a day that if you and your chapter want to give to a global impact project, it would be to give to Nothing But Nets that day, and I guarantee they'll do some sort of crazy match where some donor will come in and match any donations that you give and make that bigger impact. So there's that in regards to Nothing But Net specifically.
I also just want to point out that all of these dates will also happen in 2018, just so you know. So, well, at least the World Malaria Day and the World Mosquito Day will also be on the 25th and the 20th in 2018. So even though we've maybe already passed them for this year, and there will be a leadership summit, we just don't know the dates quite yet of what that will be. So definitely be on the lookout for more information about all of that so that you can continue to advocate next year.
Very true. Thank you. Again, if you're an engaged member that cares or even just cares about advocacy in general and wants to use this platform in their local chapter, make it fun, put on some contests and challenges. If you want incentives and things, giveaways, like, contact me. We can get you in touch with Nothing But Nets and we can help you out. I've had members do this and it's been really cool. Educate how malaria does affect us locally. Military overseas, global economy, just traveling people. Donate easily by, there's a really easy way to donate actually if you just place hashtag donate and a $ with the amount that you want to donate on any Nothing But Nets post on Facebook or Twitter. It'll send you a message back on that social media platform to finalize the donation process. And then to finalize this, turning passion into action, we are the active young voice for young people. Prove it by lobbying for the causes we are passionate about and affect us. The success of our relationship with Nothing But Nets is a testament to the power of passionate people coming together to make the world a better place. Share your passion and let your voice be heard.
I will take it that that is the end since it won't let me click anymore.
That is the end of it. That was my
Oh.
big speech.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. No, that was really great. I think that that's such great information about how to advocate. I think that is becoming increasingly important in our country right now to advocate about the things that you care about and let your representatives know what you are passionate about. Are there any questions about anything that we covered tonight for Justin? You can go ahead and use the question or the chat function to ask any questions. And if you joined us late or if you want to share this webinar with fellow members of your chapter, we will, I did record it, and so we will be sharing that on our social media platforms tomorrow or maybe over the weekend, so you will have the ability to access them again if you still had more information that you wanted. We do have a question. Oh, no, Nicole said, thank you. You're very welcome, Nicole. Glad you could join us tonight. So if there are no further questions, we will wish you all a wonderful evening, and we will see you next month. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Noelle.
Thank you, Justin.